नो मतलब मैंने खोली हुई है. इट्स नॉट विजिबल टू मी येट.
ठीक है, ठीक है. हाँ, मैंने भी फोन में ओपन कर लिया.
नो. हेलो एवरीवन. आर वी ऑडिबल? मतलब मैंने खोली हुई है. इट्स नॉट विजिबल टू.
Yeah, I think we're live now. So, guys, are we audible? Just let us know in the comment section if our voice is audible.
They can hear us. Yeah, Sahil, they can hear us. Okay.
All right, wonderful.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar. You can be an inventor. I am Mukul Sagar, your host for today's webinar, and we have with us Mr. Sahil Rastogi, a renowned maker and an industry expert. We know that this COVID situation has affected us in a number of ways, but it can never stop us from learning anything new. That's why we have brought you this series of amazing webinars where we will be talking to different industry experts about their experiences and inventions. Today's webinar will be about maker mindset, how it can help us in the time like this and enable us to design a stronger future. So let's get started. Hello, Sahil.
Hey, Mukul, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Absolutely fine, Mukul.
Okay. So Sahil, I know you from a very long time and also know how you have made the maker mindset a part of your daily life. Will you help our young audience to know about this maker mindset?
Sure, Mukul. So, before starting, I'd like to, tell a little bit more about myself. So some of you, you may recognize me previously from IRC or Makeathon or such events, or maybe, I've been to your school for some training. But that is not all that I do here at Avishkaar. So, over here, I've also been, tasked, to contribute some original content based around the DIY or, the maker hobby. So my background is in electronics. So I did my BTech in electronics and communication engineering. But I have interest in programming and 3D printing as well. And all these fields, they give me a ton of things, to learn and make and, in general play around with. So before I get started, so there is this one term that you will see me use, quite often during this webinar, which is the word maker. So before we start, I would just like to, tell everyone, just talk about who a maker really is. So I have a very small video for that, and so we are just going to play that video now to tell, to talk about who a maker really is. So we'll just have the video now.
Sure.
Making is so basic and fundamental to who we are that all of us are makers. It's not just some special group who went to the right school. It is something that's in all of us, and it's something that's very broadly available in our culture.
Anything that you need to make, it's important that you make it. Humans do two things that make us unique from all other animals. We use tools and we tell stories. And when you make something, you're doing both at once.
Today's DIY is tomorrow's Made in America. Your projects are examples of a revolution that's taking place in American manufacturing. A revolution that can help us create new jobs and industries for decades to come.
Makers are a source of innovation. I think it relates back to something like the birth of the personal computer industry. This is Steve Wozniak. Where does he learn about computers? It's the Homebrew Computer Club, just like a hackerspace. And he says, I could go there all day long and talk to people and share ideas for free.
You're telling a story about your desire, you're telling a story about something that you want, you're telling a story about something that you see needs to be made, and you are using your tools to improve yourself and improve the world around you.
If you can imagine it, then you can do it, whatever it is. This is a country that imagined a railroad connecting a continent, imagined electricity powering our cities and towns, imagined skyscrapers reaching into the heavens, and an internet that brings us closer together. So we imagined these things, then we did them. And that's in our DNA, that's who we are.
All right. So, makers, they try, they take things apart, and, they try to do things with a product that even the manufacturer, did not think of doing. Speaking of that, saying this, it reminds me of a small story from back when I was a kid. So as a kid, I loved remote controlled toys, remote controlled cars, and all those good stuff, right? And so, one day I just forced my father to buy me a remote control aeroplane. It was actually a flight capable plane. And so I was a very bad pilot. And, 10 seconds into the air, I crashed it into a wall. And, so there I was with it, it was broken into two pieces and it was unable to, fly anymore. So I sat on it for a couple of days, but, at the end of it, what I did was I had a mechanics kit with me. So I took the mechanics kit, I assembled a car out of it, okay? And I assembled the car and, I took out that propeller system that the remote control plane had, and I put that on the car. And, all of a sudden I had this remote controlled propeller driven car as a new toy with me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, whoever designed that product, whoever made that remote controlled aeroplane, never in their life they would have thought that somebody would use it to drive a car of all things. Right. So yeah, whether so that is who makers are. They take things apart and make new stuff out of it. We love exploring these technologies, and we learn them as we do. So out of this process, new ideas emerge. Some of them which can actually lead to some real world applications or new business ventures. Making is basically it's a source of innovation for all.
Oh, wow, that's great. And for our audience, if you have any question in mind, drop that in the comment section and we'll try to answer that. Okay, so Sahil, back to the point, that basically means we all are makers naturally?
Yes, definitely, Mukul. So, every one of us has a maker mindset, maker inside of him or her. The maker mindset has many benefits, I think, for students. Making it requires creativity. You need to have those problem solving skills, that reflection and perseverance. Students, they can work on projects alone, or, they can go and, work in teams, which will help them strengthen their abilities to plan and, work well with others. Making facilitates innovation, while providing students with the opportunity to, work in a multidisciplinary environment. So basically, at the same in one single project, you can have electronics, art, programming, all of that, built into a single project. And so basically, it ties their learning to the real world. The many aspects of making, they can help us to, address differentiation and personalized learning. While addressing the needs of different learning styles and multiple intelligences.
Okay, so Sahil, we have also heard a new term recently, maker spaces. What is a maker space actually?
Okay, so makerspace, Mukul. So yeah, it's a collaborative workspace. It could be inside a school, library, or it could be a completely separate or private facility, for making, learning, exploring, and sharing. Sharing that that uses high tech to no tech at all, no tech tools. These spaces, they are open to kids, adults, entrepreneurs, and they have a variety of maker equipment. Including 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines, soldering irons, and something like even a sewing machine, which can be used to make some really good art projects, or maybe if you want to, play around with wearable electronics. So a makerspace, however, it doesn't need to include all of these machines or even any of them to be considered as a makerspace. So Mukul, in fact, as a matter of fact, I know that you have yourself set up quite a lot of maker spaces, right? So maybe you want to talk a little more about it and how it can help students develop a maker mindset.
Sure. So, well, yes, Sahil, I'm fond of such spaces where I can make my ideas into an actual prototype. My dad used to take me to his lab sometime, and those were the happiest days of my childhood, because I used to get all the tools and materials with which I can make different toys out of scrap. I remember I was in that lab one day and I made a lamp with some LEDs and wires. And seeing this, one of my father's colleague taught me how to make a prototype PCB using a soldering machine. And that really helped me in my life. That skill helped me a lot in my future projects. And that was the basic, that was the skill which I learned in that makerspace. Uh, so I've been working in Avishkar as a makerspace creator for the last 2 years. And it really gives me joy when I see young makers shaping their idea in those makerspaces. It might be worthwhile having a look at it if you want to make your own makerspace in your houses, in your home. It's more of the maker mindset of creating something out of nothing and exploring your own interest. These species are also helping to prepare us with the critical 21st century skills in the field of STEM. Yeah, they provide hands-on learning, help with the critical thinking skill, and even boost the self-confidence. Some of the skills that are learned in a makerspace pertain to electronics, 3D printing, 3D modeling, coding, robotics, and even woodworking. Maker spaces are also fostering entrepreneurship and are being utilized as incubators and accelerator for business startups. So we have a video about how a maker space look like and what are the tools inside a maker space. So let's watch a video how maker space can help young minds to grow their maker mindset.
Definitely, sure.
So the Makerspace project is all about unlocking human potential.
The Makerspace is a place where there's equipment that people can come and use, and the idea is that it's open to anyone, open to everyone. The price is made so that everyone can access it, and then provides machinery that normally is not accessible only if you work in those industries. So creating a space where you can come and make things, be creative with machinery that is not always easily accessible to everyone. Makerspace offers a corporate side as well. So we do corporate team building, where you bring your team in and we help them to make something. So lots of teams think they're not creative, so we aid them in trying to be as creative as they can in a controlled environment, which encourages people to try something new. We also run exhibitions where we illustrate to people what is possible, show people machinery that they don't see every day, like your laser cutters and your 3D printers, so that they are introduced to the idea and they want to come in and maybe try it.
Just from going from a team building, which was our first step into the makerspace, all the way through to like a pretty important prototype that makerspace helped us develop. It's always been, there's something new all the time, you know, you're always learning something. So I think it's just a catalyst for growth.
I kind of had this ability to make things, but I didn't really do it too often until I really moved away from the farm and got to the city, where all of a sudden I didn't really have tools to do anything. Through a series of events, I ended up at the makerspace and just saw all these things. Never heard of a laser cutter, never heard of 3D printing or anything like that. My first initial draw to it was like, wow, they have all the tools I need. Basically, my passion for making just ignited, because all of a sudden I had all these tools that were like catalysts for making.
I think the definition of humanity is that we are creative, so we find ways to solve problems. And this becomes a new medium for people to explore their creativity. We teach tools that unlock potential to make things for yourself. So the technology allows people to make things of as good quality as what can be made in a factory.
So yeah, as you guys see, how does a maker space look like and what all the tools inside it and how you can use it to shape your ideas. So Sahil, do you have some advice for our mentors and teachers? Like what should they do to include this maker mindset learning in their classroom?
Okay, so yes, so I, thinking of it, I think there are, mainly four points that you need to watch out for. The first one being, we should, give students permission to play. As educators, I think we often create additional pressure, to stay on the course and stick to pacing guides at the risk of being responsive to our students' needs and passions. Instead, I think we should all agree to offer up permissions and to engage in intellectual play. To bring this into practice, consider the following. We should create more and more opportunities for collaborative brainstorming to solve problems with new ideas. And we should provide materials and tasks that actually promote outside the box thinking for the design of a new product or creation. And we should allow, I think, more free time for self-exploration. So through mechanisms such as, so there's this thing called genius hour. It can be an hour, a time where everyone just shares their ideas and listens to others what they have in their mind. The second would be, we have to, cultivate an appreciation for failure. So it's important to, not only reward creative thinking, but also to highlight and celebrate failure, right? So, too often, students, they view failure as something which is completely unacceptable, derogatory, and, they will go to great efforts to avoid it. In fact, some of the greatest inventions and ideas, were born out of struggle and failure itself. Frameworks such as, design thinking, make this acknowledgement, I believe, feel natural through the initial stages of a project. And, trying as many things as possible is essential to beginning of any, making. It's why, it has its own name, prototyping. So celebrating failure, I think, it can happen simply, through quick reflections put up on our, there could be a thing called like favorite fail wall, or, maybe just through, verbal share outs. Right. The third point would be, to use role models to inspire students to become makers. So offering voice and choice in what and how students make, I think it's critical to engagement, but, so is inspiration. Students, they look not just to their peers, but to adults for inspiration as well. As often as possible, students, they have the chance, should have a chance to, interact with expert makers and, see the cool stuff that they are making and creating. Teachers, you can be these expert makers, you can dive in next to your students to model what it means to be a maker. And, so we must exercise the discipline, to refrain from attaching, too quickly to an idea just because it's new. Making is no exception, so to truly prepare ourselves to, be successful in this new venture, I think, let's be sure, we set our students up to have the right mindset and, to be courageous innovators. So, yeah. And the fourth point would be, we should help, our students to, participate in different maker fairs and hackathons. So every year, a number of hackathons and maker fairs, they're all organized all around the world. So Avishkaar, as a matter of fact, also organizes Asia's biggest robotics and making competition, where thousands of students and makers gather and present their innovations and talent on a national platform. So, we have a quick video of Celebrate Avishkaar, Asia's biggest robotics and making competition. It's the season 10 video, so we'll quickly have that video now.
Sure.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sure so you can see that excitement of making something cool and, to show it to the world, this feeling, it really inspires students. So
Right.
I remember, so back when I was a student, so I have actually participated in the very first IRC league. I was one of the participants in the very first IRC competition, and I remember, that enthusiasm, that excitement, and that feeling of when you have to make those last minute changes when things go wrong. So all of it, it really inspired me, and and it made me who I am today. So mentors, you should help your students, to participate in such hackathons, maker fairs, and competitions. It will definitely help them, develop their maker mindset, and in fact grow and excel in life in whatever they do.
Right. And speaking of which, this year also Avishkar launched world's biggest online robotics and coding competition. That is Avishkar League. Our audience can find the link for Avishkar League in the description of this video. Okay. Sahil, that was such a great help for our young makers and mentors. I know you have also created one product which helps students to learn programming, and we are also getting some comments and questions like which
Mhm.
programming language is best, how to learn programming. You have created this software, this product to learn programming and hardware prototyping. Will you share that with us?
Definitely, Mukul. So the product that you're talking about is Avishkaar Maker Board. So I have one with me over here. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, this is what it looks like. It's basically a open PCB kind of a design. It looks really cool to
Right.
me. The color and the design, everything about it. And so before diving into the Maker Board itself, and what it is capable of and what all features it has, I would first of all like to talk about what was the thought process behind Maker Board. What made us dive into this field, and what made us develop this product the way it is. So like I said, I've been working on a lot of projects ever since I've been working in Avishkar, and
Hmm.
ever so often I realized that making it's not that easy. I mean, there are so many things that have to fall in place to make one single project work. So it's not
Right.
easy, and yeah. So I was from an engineering background, so I was able to manage things. But somebody who is just starting out, in the field of electronics and programming, just taking all those electronic components together, putting them together, and writing a complex program, it can be very intimidating. So we wanted to create a product, that removes that intimidation to some extent, not entirely, to some extent. So what we decided was to have a open PCB kind of a design. So it still has that techie feel to it, and
Right.
we decided to put a lot of components on the board itself. So on the top over here, if you'll see, this is basically a buzzer that you have for sound output. Then you have these onboard buttons, 4 buttons which are labeled as W, A, S, and D. So yes, these are named after the gaming keys that are on there on the keyboard. And then you have a onboard Bluetooth. So it's a Bluetooth 2.0 module. So very often I saw myself while creating projects that I was in need of some sort of wireless communication. I was creating a project that probably needs to be controlled via my phone. So we decided, why not just put a wireless module on the board itself. And yeah, so, and the last but not the least, my favorite thing is it's these LEDs over here. So you have been working with me, you know me, and so you know that I absolutely love these LEDs.
Right.
So these are all individually addressable RGB LEDs, so these LEDs allow you to create some really cool, some really creative projects. You can play animations on it, you can make your
Okay.
own games on it, you can display cool patterns on it, and scroll text, all that good stuff. And so yeah, so, and we don't have just one of these. We have 25 of those LEDs on this maker board. So we have a
Okay.
5x5 matrix arrangement of these LEDs, and so all of it can be programmed by our own software, Avishkaar Maker Studio. So it's a block-based programming software, which you can use. It's very simple to use. And then again, you also have, over here, if you see, so you have various pins over here, right? So some
Right.
of them are power pins, which can be used to, power up external sensor, external modules, and the rest can be used to actually control those sensor and modules. So you have all that good stuff that so GPIO pins, PWM, ADC, all of those are here on the board itself, and you can just connect them using alligator connectors.
Okay, no problem.
So yes, it's a really cool product, and it's really fun to use. And so not just this, even if you don't have the hardware product. So we recently launched a simulator for Maker Board. So it's available for free on our website. You can just log on to avishkaar.cc/AMS. You guys can find the link. All the audience, you can find the link in the description box. So it's available for free to use. You guys can just, all you have to do is just log on to the website, and you will be able to play around with it. And we have also got a small demo for you. So I'll be demonstrating that simulator live online right now. So we'll just have the simulator up now. Can we please have the simulator now? Yes. So I hope my screen is visible to all. So this is what the Maker Board simulator, the online Maker AMS looks like. So this is over here. If you'll see, you have the simulate button. So when I click on it, so you can see, virtual Maker Board appears, and you have all those buttons, LEDs, all that good stuff, and the buzzer also over here. So when you just click on the play button, whatever code that you have created, it will start running itself. So so we're just going to make some very basic programs. We start by, so these are all the blocks that you have. So you have everything related to buttons, display, sound, and some basic programming things like variables, functions, all that stuff. So we start by taking a my program block, and let's just create a program to scroll some text on the LED matrix. So I'll go to the loops, and I'll drag a repeat while block. And in the display section, you will see that so we have this block show scrolling text. So I'll just drag it on, and I'm just going to type hello world. So whatever programming languages you guys are starting with, hello world is probably the first program that you will create in that language. So I'm going to select a color. Let's say I select blue, and I'm going to set the brightness to 100. So let's click on simulate now. Now when I click on play button, so you can see the word, the entire word hello world will get scrolled onto the matrix. And since I selected blue color, it's visible in blue, and the brightness is set to 100%. And similarly, if you have the actual Maker Board, you'll be able to see something like this on the actual Maker Board itself. So R, L, and D. And since this block is in a loop, so it will keep on repeating itself. So I'm just going to click on reset over here and close this. So this is just one of many things that you can do with the Maker Board. So I'm just going to delete this block, and in the display section, so why don't we play an animation? So in the show animation section, yeah. So we have a number of animations over here that you can select from. So I like this wave one. I'm just going to select this, and now when I click on simulate and play, so you can see that wave kind of an animation coming onto the matrix. So it's really cool, and since it's in a loop, again, it will keep on repeating itself. And then you have the options to play around with the button as well. So for example, you have these blocks over here. So if button W pressed, and so what I'll do is I'm just going to use a show pattern block, and what we'll do is we'll just display a few patterns on press of different buttons. So if button W is pressed, we'll display the snake pattern. If button A is pressed, we'll display the heart pattern. If button S is pressed, we'll display, let's say, a smiley. And if button D is pressed, we'll display a okay. So let's select this dog over here. So now when I click on simulate and play, now when I click on the W button, so you can see we programmed it to display a snake pattern. So the snake is visible over here. Now when I click on A, you can see this heart pattern comes up. When I click on S, the smiley comes up. And when I click on D, the dog comes up. So this is how you can program the buttons as well to function. Guys, I think so. We have a few comments over here. So they want us to explain the animation sequence again. Okay, so I'm just going to redo that program. So I'll remove all of this.
Okay.
So if you want to, play buy a default animation or a pre-installed animation kind of thing. So we have this show animation block in the display section. You just drag this block, and you can select from this list over here. So for example, if I select exercise, now when I click on simulate and play, so you can see that exercise animation is coming up. And since it's in a loop, so it keeps on repeating itself. Or otherwise, if I wanted to program it with the press of a button, I can do that also. So on W press, I can show the exercise animation. On A press, I can show the gunfire animation. On S press, I can show the tick animation, and on D, we can let's take the snake animation. Now when I click on simulate and play, so guys, it's not only necessary that you click on these WASD on the screen. You can also use your keyboard keys. So now when I click on W on my keyboard, so you can see that exercise animation, it runs once. Now when I click on A, so the gunfire animation comes on. When I click on S or press S, the tick animation comes up. And when I press D on my keyboard, so the snake animation comes up.
Okay.
So that's how you can program the buttons to play different patterns and animations. And we also have a block over here, show LEDs, which allows you to basically create your own patterns and animations. It's not necessary that you use from these default ones that I just showed you guys.
Okay.
So it's really
Sahil,
yeah.
Yeah, Sahil, I think we have a great audience. All those young makers have already bought the maker board, I think, and we are getting a lot of questions like how to turn on your Bluetooth in your maker board, how to use the Bluetooth in your maker board. Can we answer that?
Definitely. So can we have the maker board screen again? Yeah, I think so. It's here. Okay, so if you want to use the Bluetooth, guys, so in the simulation, you cannot use the Bluetooth functionality. You obviously need the
I think we are getting some technical glitch. Yeah, I think we are getting okay. So for our audience, I think this is just a technical glitch, and just stay connected. We'll be live again in few minutes, and we'll be catering to your questions, and we'll answer all your questions.
I'm really sorry, guys. So we had a technical issue.
No
So I
problem.
think we are we live again, guys? Are we audible?
I guess yes, we are live, but I think we need to. Yeah, we are
So yeah,
live.
we were talking about Bluetooth. So we are going to need the. So we are going to need the AMS screen again. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So really sorry about that, guys. I had a connection issue. So I think yes, we are back. We are live again. All right. So to continue from where I left off, so I was talking about the Bluetooth application of the Maker board. So I'll start again. So basically, if you want to play around with the Bluetooth options in the Maker board, you first of all you need to have the actual Maker board with you. You can't do it with the in the simulation. And so to turn on your Bluetooth module on the Maker board, so in the Bluetooth section, you will see that there is this block over here, turn Bluetooth on or off. So you just need to select on from this list over here, and then all you have to do is so your Bluetooth on the Maker board will automatically turn on, and it will be discoverable from your Android device. So you just need to open up your Android Bluetooth settings, and you can pair up with the Maker board. The Bluetooth name and password will be there on the Maker board box that you get with the product itself. And then let's say that you want to. So I already have a loop in there. And so let's say that on press of a button you want to send a character or a string, something like that, right? So in the button section, and I'll just go and I'll select the W pressed, and then over here you will see these blocks, send integer, send character, send string, those kind of stuff. So let's say that I want to send an integer number on button W press. So what I'll have to do is if button W is pressed, send integer. Let's say you want to send 1, so you just have to type in 1 over here, and you can have a similar kind of application for different buttons. So let's say if button S is pressed, you want to send 2, things like this, right? So and then on the application side, on the Android application side, you can have a code which will process what number you have gotten, and accordingly you can do whatever action you want to do on the app. And similarly, so if you want to write a program that allows you to receive data on Maker board from the phone, so you have that option as well. So to do that, we are going to first need the if block, and then we have this block over here if data is available. Right. So if there's any data available to the Maker board from Bluetooth, this condition will be true. And then you have this block, to receive integer, receive character, or receive string. So for example, if I want to, receive any integer number, so what I'll do is I'll just call this receive integer block, and in this block over here, which says received integer. So whatever integer value that we receive from the app, the Maker board receives via Bluetooth, it will be stored in this receive integer. So for example, if you want to use it in a if block, so if this received integer equals 1, maybe you want to display some pattern. So I'm just going to select a pattern. I'll select the smiley face, and then you can have an else if going on. Like let's say if you receive 2 instead of 1, so you want to display a different sort of pattern. You want to display this aeroplane, for example, right? So whatever you want to do, basically, if you want to play some sound, you can do that from the sound section. If you want to display an animation, you can do that. You can display the animation, and in fact, so you can create your own games on Maker board. So if you want to, you can use your mobile phone as a wireless game controller for the Maker board itself. So I'm not going to create a program for any game, but I'll show you a few codes that I already have. So I'm just going to open up my projects. So over here I have the Cyclone game. No, I don't want to save changes. So yeah, I'm not going to go through the exact code. It's really big, as you guys can see. I have a lot of functions over here as well. So I'm just going to simulate it, and I click on play. So this is kind of like a 3, 2, 1 go kind of a thing. And I don't know if you heard the buzzer, but I also had added the buzzer in this part. So the idea of this game is, so you see this green sprite, which is, moving around the perimeter of the maker board. And then you have this red one over here. So the idea is that, as soon as these both dots coincide, you have to press W. So now when I press W, it creates a smile and wink animation. So, you can have these sort of emojis, displaying when, your task is successful or not. And when I, press W when these are not coinciding. So for example, if I press now, these both green and red are not coinciding. So it will just, show a sad face kind of a thing. So, this is one kind of a game that you can create. I also have a car game in here somewhere. Yes. So yeah. So this is actually one of the first games, that I programmed on the maker board. So I'm just going to simulate it. So the idea is, so these are, 2 red obstacles that are coming down from the top, and you have to save your green car from those obstacles. So you can use the A button to move it left, and D button to move it right. And you just have to, navigate and dodge these obstacles. But when you crash, so like I crash right now, so it will display my score. It will, it's going to display the text score and then the numeric value of the score that I have. So my score was 4, and then it's going to show a game over animation. So, so you can have all those features that you have in a game, like, scoring, lives. You can implement all those things and, make your own games. And so, yeah, so that was, all about the MakerBoard demo, Mukul. So I think we can exit from this simulator screen now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sahil, this was such a really great product, and I think we have some coders in the audience now. So there was one student, Devansh. He wants to ask: is there any kind of courses available for MakerBoard, and where can he buy this MakerBoard?
Yeah. So okay. So talking about the courses, so we have a few courses. So MakerBoard, we have a few kits bundled around it as well. So if you want to buy the standalone MakerBoard, you can do that. Or if you don't want the MakerBoard, you just want to take the simulation courses, those are also available. And you can also buy, a kit basically with which you get the MakerBoard and a couple of sensors like, motion sensor, soil moisture, capacitive touch switch, all those kind of sensors and wires, to make those connections. So, so we have a course around that also. All of those are available on our website. You just go to the courses section on avishkaar.cc, and you will be able to see a list of all the courses that are available on our website.
Okay. And is there any downloadable software for this?
Yes, Mukul. So we basically have an offline AMS. So it doesn't have the simulation functionality, but if you just want to, if you have the actual product, the actual MakerBoard, so you are going to need that offline version of AMS. So you can download it. It's available on our website. You just need to install it, and you can create the programs and upload them onto the MakerBoard.
Okay. And we have one more query from Tanish. He's asking, can we use this MakerBoard with the phone Bluetooth, with a smartphone?
Yes, definitely.
Bluetooth?
Yes. Okay. So basically, you need an Android phone. So Apple, is not compatible with Bluetooth 2.0. So if you have an Android phone, you can create your own apps. So there's this wonderful platform called MIT App Inventor. So it's a blog-based app development software. It's very simple to use, very fun. Yeah, if you want to, you can go on to MIT App Inventor, and you can create your own Bluetooth, Bluetooth applications. And you can, like I said, that, if you want to create a game controller, you can create your own app, which has buttons on it. And, you can use it as a wireless controller. And not just that, let's say that you want a motion controller. So we already have, all those sensors on the phone.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can create an app which can be used to, control the characters in your game using the motion sensor of your mobile phone.
Okay. Okay. And looking at all these questions, we have one more question. Like Advait Srivastava asked, can we make games on this maker board like Subway Surfer?
So not exactly, so yes, I mean, as a matter of fact, if I think of it, yes, maybe you can. You don't need, so you're not going to obviously have that, graphic capabilities of a mobile phone. But, if I talk about the basic idea behind Subway Surfer, what it is. So you have a character which is running forward, and, you have to skip some obstacles and maybe, collect some of the power-ups that you get in the game. So, you can have different kind of sprites for all of those that, like we have in the car game. So you had the red color sprite, which was basically, it can be those obstacles, and then maybe you can have a blue colored sprite or an orange color sprite, and all of these could mean different power-ups. You would have to just write the program, what kind of power-up or what kind of effect does it have on the game.
Okay. Okay. And Sahil, we have one more question from Arundhati Mane. Can we control a motor from this maker board?
You can, but so you will have to actually interface a motor driver IC or a motor driver module with the board. So, you cannot directly connect the motor with the maker board. So you will need a IC, something like a L293D or a L298 motor driver module. And with that, yes, you can, you can then interface that module with the maker board, and, you will be able to control the directions, the speed of the motor, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So Sahil, thank you for this amazing webinar, and a big thank you to for wonderful audience. We will leave this webinar with amazing video for our viewers. Until then, we will make next time. If you like, for our audience, if you like this webinar, hit like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. So we'll just have the last video, and thank you for all our audience.
Thank you.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.